Hey guys, today is January 15th, 2025. I didn't get my 13th man anniversary in last month. I apologize. Not that I have a bunch of people waiting for it, but times have just been a little crazy since the election for me. And I've had to wrap my head around things and take the disappointment and the shock and all that stuff and process it. And I believe me, I've been processing it for a while. So anyway, I've gotten to the point I think this week that I finally got a hold of myself again and understand that sometimes we have to go through really, really hard times in order to face our complacency and our what we've taken for granted a lot of times. And I think that's what's happening now. And someone said, we need to fight, not just sit and watch. And I think to myself, I'm not a very good activist. I get really anxious about things like that. And so I do my best. I donate or um, like right now, share with you guys. And just hope that if ever anything's ever brought up to me, that I can stand up for what's right instead of just not responding and saying can't change them anyway. You never know in any action or anything you do in your life if you don't touch somebody, whether it be negative or positive. And that's why I try in all my videos. I'm always telling you I'm trying to be a better person every day because being human is to be imperfect, and we'll never ever gain perfection. But as long as we work towards that, we get better and better. And so that's kind of my motto as a human being for me to deal with anxieties and stuff and the things I've dealt with in my life prior to transition and then after transition. So that's just, I've always been an optimistic person. And so sometimes that optimism is challenged. And I've never yet fell to pessimism or negativity. So um, this is my challenging fight now. But I do believe when that person mentioned that we have to, as humans, we have to face the valley. I'm going to tell you one of the things I've said all my life. During the times of not understanding why I am the way I am, and why was I created this way, and was I created this way, or is it in my mind, and all this processing I went through my life. The one thing I've always said was, you have to go through the valley to hit the mountaintop. And I've been through many, many valleys, and I'm sure everyone on this channel that watches this is going to say, yeah, I have too. The mountaintop is supposed to make us a better person. It's supposed to give us the opportunity to look back, see where we've been, and how far we've come. If you don't reach that mountaintop and you say, Ethan, I've been in this valley for so long, then maybe you should, I suggest you stop and do some analyzation of yourself. What have you changed? How have you walked that walk? And why do you think you're not getting there? People can stand in our way, but there's always a way around them. You don't have to barrel through them. You just go around them. And the political world in our United States, not world, but in our life here in the United States, has been in an uproar for 10 years, but it also started many decades ago. The behavior, the mentality, it's always been in our nation. What's changed is people who are different that come with challenging civil rights, with challenging interracial relationships, with challenging the LGBTQ. All these people, these movements, has made us challenge the way we look at things, the way we view things, and the slavery, the Civil War, and people stopping that believed in slavery, saying, wait a minute, they are humans. What are we doing here?" And some people still believe in it today. And but it's those things in our American history, because that's where I live. In my American history, the mentality, the conservatism is always being challenged by people like me, like us, for those who are like me, or part of the LGBT, or part of the black community, the brown community, bringing in different socialism from your social groups, and blending it all in. Um, so if you're shocked and disappointed like I was for what 2 months now, uh, it's time to get up and set yourself straight on a chair and say, okay, I need to focus and I need to move forward. There's I've done enough wallowing. The picture is bigger than me, and I just decided that my activism is going to be, when approached, I'm going to just say, call them out on whatever they're saying, and hopefully I can spew facts from where I've heard it from. But I don't know if I give real hope for. I mean, I know in my family they love me, and they didn't reject me right out, but I still think they reject the notion of what I am. They don't understand it, so therefore, I think they fight with, well, Ethan's a good person, has always had a close relationship with God, has been through many things, and so it's not for me to judge. But yet, probably still hearing some talk in their church when they go to church and stuff, or from other people. Who knows? So there are people like that are tolerant, and I've talked about this before. My family being tolerant, uh, but honestly, I think what changes people's minds a lot of times is when they're faced with something like that. People who probably had their idea of gender identity, whether they were pro or for, I mean, pro or against. I think those that are against it had someone come up in their family. Like, I'm giving an example in my head. Let me give you out loud. I had a person get in contact with me from the stables where we used to board our horses. And she said that her grandson's come out. And she asked me for some direction and some social groups here locally. And he's only 17. So I said, okay, here you go. And if you ever need anything, let me know. And I gave him my YouTube channel and all that. So she is Republican. And I'm just wondering now how she feels about those things spewed out of the Republican Party. But anyway, not to get really into politics, but to get into the emotion of us facing some. In 2016, the Republican Party, Trump's Republican Party, did the same thing. That came out against transgender. That came out, we felt like we were going to be jailed basically. And nothing really happened. Yeah, he did a few policies, but it wasn't a major overhaul, and like Nazi Germany. This time he wants to be more Nazi Germany. And he's got all the people around him that want to be Nazi Germany. So wherever you come from and whatever minority you are, and the marginal group that you're in, I just want to say, pick your head up, get out of bed, go about your day, go about your life, and until you're faced with something, That's just prepare yourself. We can't change, um, and this isn't going to happen, but let me give you an example. I get up one day and the government finds out I'm transgender and they're going after everybody. And they come here. How can I change that? It's like, well, you can go run and hide. You can. No, when you go run and hide, then you're always hiding the rest of your life. So you face it, but I believe in the greater good. And I believe that the good will come out of it. Now, here where I live, Border Patrol came up from the border and did a couple sweeps in our city because we are a heavy, heavy farm agriculture area. And we provide, oh man, a certain percentage of all the fruits and almonds and stuff that our nation eats and other nation countries eat. So um, they did arrest a few people. Now here's the talking point: they're going to say on conservative news media stations that they did a sweep and they caught rapists and they caught, it's to justify what they did. And I'm at a point now I don't believe any media, corporate media. Our channels here locally are conservative. So they are going to spew the rhetoric that Fox News, Newsmax, CNN now, some of MSNBC's doing now, um, because of their CEOs catering and bending the knee to Trump. Uh, they're not spewing facts, just rhetoric. And so I told people, when we've talked about it, I said, don't listen to the news because they're going to justify it. They're going to say these people are criminals. And we don't know if that's true or not. And I wouldn't believe them as far as I can throw them. I mean, that's just the way I see things. But I've gotten a hold of myself and I've got myself back on level ground here. But in the meantime, dealing with this, I went to my addiction, which is what? Sugar. The holidays came, I didn't care, and I gained 12 pounds. And I'm like, damn, what that little does to me when other people do this every day. And I'm like, wow. But I found out through all that processing everything, is that milk really inflames me. And I bloat up and I swell. I've got some allergies going on now because of the fires are close. I mean, they're about 2 hours away from me, and you can see it coming over the mountains, the smoke. So I've been struggling with my headaches and allergies, even more mucus. But I thought, oh my gosh, I need to get a hold of myself here because I do not want to bloom back up. I felt so good and felt like my body was finally responding and just being itself. No drama. And I'm back to drama. Just like, but that's my head. So I'm really trying, to go back real quick to transitioning. I find myself reminiscing about past memories and where I've come from and how I've gotten here. And there are times where I think, man, I just don't know how I did it, and be positive and keep pushing through every day. But I did. I know I had a cane that helped me when I got around parties with all the females. I drank pretty heavily. And now that I don't drink, now I have more anxiety when I'm in groups and stuff. And that's gotten even worse since I was off work. But for those who can't wait for retirement, I'm going to make this big suggestion. I want you to write it down. Ethan says, make sure you have hobbies, a hobby or hobbies. Make sure you have a list of things to go out and do while you're healthy. And if you're limited, do what you can do in that limitation. Um, Unfortunately, I had to quit hiking I've been hurt 25 or 20 years this year, and I tried to work 2 years of it, so I didn't do anything for 2 years except for work. And I had to quit going hiking because I had a hard time. I could get somewhere so far, but then I had to turn around, and it wasn't no fun to anybody else that I was with. So I just quit doing that. I tried to, when we went to the beach, I tried to walk on the beach with my feet, and I couldn't do that. And but I do still go to the beach. I just am very limited on the walking unless I've got my shoes on, my orthotics. But even then, the the sand, how it's uneven, and my feet. I can't explain how my feet. They're just tore up. But anyway, so I had to stop a lot of things, and so I find myself I do a lot more thinking. I've always been a thinker, and I've always been a deep thinker. But now my mind races, and I'll go through reminiscing to my book I'm reading, to a weird dream I had, because I sleep pretty much straight 6 hours, and then I'll wake up and it's too cold in the house, and so I'll stay in bed, and then you fall back to sleep, and I have weird dreams, very weird dreams, and sometimes I think, what the hell, if I had a psychiatrist or a psychologist look at my dreams and think, we need to admit you for a day and do some observation. But yeah, so I wonder, I know what got me through those times was faith. I believed in the higher divine, and I believed I was taught to go by God. And I'm very open now what you call your higher divine. I don't limit it in any way. And as long as it's positive and it improves you as a human and gives you hope and gives you faith and you feel love and it gives you strength, because without that faith in me, or not in me, but without that faith that resided in me for the higher divine, I don't know. I'm sure I would have gone through everything, but I don't know how worse I would have gone through them, how I would have reacted to them. Would I have become an alcoholic? Would I have become a drug addict? What, because it's in my family, so I don't know. But I've always, from a young age, always prayed to Jesus to let me grow up and be who I am, and never saw myself a family person having kids. Never saw that. I wanted kids. I wanted to be a part of kids, but I never wanted to have them. And yeah, so that's kind of what my life is now. I've got a hold of myself, not letting politics dictate my thinking, getting back to going out and doing the things I need to do. Although I did them, it wasn't 100%. So now I need to start fresh, and had these trees taken down in front of our house. There was 4 eucalyptus trees that were, one of them was 110 feet high. Yeah, would have killed us had it come down because it was right over our bedroom. And it probably would have killed us anyway, no matter where we were in the house. But had them taken down, so I've got the wood all sitting in the front of the pasture here. There's a guy that's supposed to come and get it, and I need to clean up and do some things there. So anyway, I need to get my butt in gear and go out and tackle my daily chores. But I wanted to do a video and talk about how I think I've felt the disappointment, felt the shock, believing that it just cannot be true, to saying, okay, maybe we need to go through this as a nation, and we need some lessons learned by a lot of us, whether the good or what. It doesn't matter what side you're on. Some of us get complacent. Some of us think we're privileged, and we need to be halted. And yeah, we just do. Anyway, take care of yourself one day at a time, and always make your journey as simple as possible. We'll talk to you later. Bye.